Right. Hello, hello. I'm Daisy. It is a lovely Thursday morning at 5 a.m. I haven't slept yet. I got distracted with a bunch of YouTube videos and other stuff and drinking lots of coffee and I don't know. Last night I was trying to code, or yesterday morning, and it didn't go so well because I was super tired, but I got plenty of sleep last night and I am determined to make up for yesterday. Things did not go well at all. I'm still trying to figure out my chat and stuff also, but I don't think it's such a big deal right now since no one's really chatting. These are mostly just videos I'm making. And I haven't really worked on any of my other stream stuff. I mainly should just be focused on doing all this on this free code camp stuff. Yeah, the goal today is to at least get to this build a travel weather planner thing. I gotta lock in. I gotta focus. But first things first. We'll build a movie ticket booking calculator. Okay, at the very least, we gotta get this done. I don't know, and then I don't think I'll have time to sleep too much. But oh wait, crud! I almost forgot to. Yesterday my mic was not working properly at first. I had, for some reason, it like switched my mic to something else, even though it's the only mic I have. So basically there was no sound. And then after I fixed that issue, I forgot to switch my just a moment screen off. So yeah, it was things were not going great yesterday, but now we're back at it again. Things are rocking and rolling. Okay, so movie ticket booking calculator. Yeah, I should maybe sleep soon, but I'm like not tired at all, and it's almost, the sun's probably coming up in an hour or two. At most, I'm probably just gonna take like a long nap rather than actually getting proper sleep, which is not good, but we're working on it. One step at a time. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or something. And this is step 1. Okay, in this workshop, we'll practice how to use booleans and conditional statements by building a movie ticket booking calculator. Wait, booleans and conditional statements. Okay, begin by declaring variables that store information about the user in the movie show. As you learned in previous lessons, variables are assigned using equals. Okay. Base. Man, I still haven't really worked on my typing. I gotta start doing that too. Base price equals 15 age 21. Check the code. Awesome. All right. See, we're practically done already. Store this. Okay. You need to store some string values in the movie ticket. Okay. Feet type equals the string. Oops, it's not gold. Sweet. Now, show time. Oops. How did I miss twice? Okay. What am I doing? Evening. There we are. Okay. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I'm kind of trying to get through it quick. Alright, previous lessons. If can depend on if a condition is true, followed by a condition and a colon. Okay, check. Oh boy. Okay. We'll check if the user is eligible to book a movie based on their age. If age, where's my greater than? Yeah, greater than 17. That's not 17. That's okay. Then print font print user is eligible to ticket. Sweet. This will print the message only when they're older than 17. Alright, become a supporter. Anyone watching this right now, I'd encourage you to support freecodecamp.com. They're pretty cool. They're pretty great. They got nice little guitar noises. They're helping me out quite a bit. Okay. Now, based on their age, so if age greater than or equal to 21, print user is eligible for evening rows. I wonder why evening is capitalized in that case. Alright, step 5. Previous step, you check the condition using an if statement. The else clause is used to handle when the condition is false. Here's the syntax for that. Now add an else to your if clause. An else clause to your if statement. And print else. Print. I keep doing that. The user is not eligible for evening rows. Inside the else. Okay, that'll only work if the thing is false. Cool. This is going great. We're making great time. Okay, as we learned, some information can only be true or false. As you learned in previous lessons, this can be represented using Boolean variable. Variable is. Okay, is member. Things are still going good. We're still going strong. Set its value to true. Do I just say true? Okay. I guess so. Below is member is weekend. Set it to indicate whether the movie show is on a weekend and set its value to false. Do not surround the value with quotes. I mean that, yeah. That's funny. It doesn't say to do that in the beginning. It says just set this to true. This one says false, but don't surround it with quotes. Like, I didn't surround either of them with quotes. Okay, to discount, set its value to 0. Right, check the code. Step 8. Okay, I can see why this had 21 steps. It's because every single one is just something like that. Also really quick, this might be kind of random. I realized I should probably take this opportunity to test my chat, to see how that's going. Okay, I'm just gonna type test chat. Test chat. Period. Alright. Let's see if that shows up. It looks quite visible, right? Okay. That is so far the best. It's the best chat situation I've managed to like create. Earlier, the last few streams, it was just not going well, the whole chat thing. Even though I was like trying to change the color of the text and the color and opacity of the chat box, it was just not working out too well. But now it looks good. Readable, at least. I'm just using a font called Basic because I'm just playing it safe. But that looks good. If I have some other visibility issues, I might just look up like a video or something, some kind of tutorial on how to make your chat not look as bad. But right now it looks okay. Things are looking good. Today's a good day so far. Okay, in Python, if conditions don't have to compare values explicitly to true or false. Instead, they rely on the truthiness of values. Truthiness. Truthy values evaluate to true in a Boolean context, such as the condition of an if statement. These include non-zero numbers, non-empty strings, and the Boolean value true. Okay. If an if statement. If to check if is member is truthy. If is member wait, so inside the body of the if statement, update the discount. Should I add 3 or should I just say discount equals 3? And print user, whoops, we gotta put it in some quotes. User qualifies for membership discount. Sweet. Alright, things are going great. You should also handle the case when the user does not qualify. Add in else clause. And print quotes. User doth not qualify. Keep missing the B there. Okay. You can print a message followed by a variable like this. Oh. Okay. You want to display the updated value of discount below the if-else statement. Use the print call to display a message that shows discount followed by the updated value of discount. Then check that out. So this is below the entire thing over here. Okay, I'll just say print anyway. Okay, print and say discount colon. Wonder if it's supposed to have a space. I don't think so. Okay. And then should I just say discount? I bumped the mic there. I don't know if that came out all loud. Okay. Syntax error, invalid syntax. Perhaps you forgot a comma. Oh, yeah, I did forget a comma. That's a good suggestion. They were correct. I absolutely forgot a comma. Nope, that's a period. Okay, that works, right? Yep, that's exactly what they wanted. If is member. And we gotta check if multiple conditions are true, I guess. And if her age is greater than or equal to 21. Age greater than equal to 21. Alright. We're halfway there. But living on a prayer. Alright. Value of his member variable to false as the user is not a member. Okay, we're just changing it. False. False. Like that, you'll see the discount now says 0. Oh, wait. Yeah, let me check real quick. Yeah, okay, things are all in working order. Whoops. I keep doing that. False. Okay. Oh yeah, that's step 11. Here we go. Here we go. I'll create a variable named extra charges. Set it to 0. and then an if statement. If is weekend. If is weekend. Oh, right. Okay, so extra charges equal to, and I keep doing the pring thing. I do it print extra charges will be applied. Marvelous. Oh yeah. Okay, add an else clause and print. Okay, let's see if I can type it right this time. Yeah. No extra charges will be applied inside the else body. Alright. And then below that else clause. Print. Oh jeez, I keep doing pring. Alright. Wait, then below the else clause. Yeah, okay. Okay. Just trying to make sure I was doing that right. Didn't seem right. Charges, colon, comma, oops. All right, no, okay, see, I see what I'm doing wrong. That didn't seem right for a reason. I had to get rid of these. Gotta get rid of that indent. Extra charges. Oh, wait, what am I doing? There we go. Awesome. Okay, step 14. That didn't take long. The OR operator is used to check something else. If at least one of two conditions is true. Extra charges should also apply if the show is in the evening. If is weekend or all right. Let's see. So with the second condition, checking if time showtime equals evening. Alrighty. Alright. Step 15. Okay. I wonder why the seat type is gold. What does that mean? More expensive seats, or like VIP seats maybe, are gold. Check if the user satisfies the condition to book a movie ticket. Users with age 21 or above can always book tickets without restrictions. Create an if statement. If age is greater than or equal to 21, colon, print, without a G, print ticket booking condition satisfied to the terminal. Okay. Boy. Man, I keep yawning. I wasn't yawning at all until I started doing this. It's like I get tired every time I start coding. Maybe it's because I'm like working my brain. That's probably a good sign. means I'm learning. Okay. And else. I think it means I'm learning. Okay. Oops. Daisy. Right. Cheat. I cannot stop typing PRING. Okay. Ticket. Booking. Failed. Due to restrictions. Okay. Looks about right. Yep, everything's good. Users between 18 and 21 can book tickets, but only when the show time is not evening. Use the AND operator to build an expression checking if age is equal to or greater than 18. We're switching it from 21 to 18. Oh wait, okay, so use the AND operator to build an expression checking if age is equal to or greater than 18 and showtime is not evening. Use the OR operator to combine it with the existing condition of the last if statement. Okay. Or age is greater than, that's not greater than, or equal to 18 and showtime. I guess doesn't equal evening. Looks right. Perfect. Alright, so far, let me look at this. Base price is 15, age is 21, seat type gold, showtime evening. If the age is greater than 17, you can book a ticket. And they're eligible to book a ticket. If it's equal to or 21, they're eligible for evening shows. Else they're not. And then discounts. If they're a member and their age is equal to or greater than 21, they get the membership discount. But they're not a member, so they don't qualify for the discount, and their discount is 0. Extra charges turn out to be 2 because it is the weekend. Oh, wait. If is weekend or showtime is evening. And yeah, showtime is evening. So there's 2 extra charges. Extra charges will be applied, and then it prints out extra charges, which is 2. And now, oh wait, I already did that part. Yeah, if they're getting ticket booking conditions satisfied, because yeah, okay, because they're equal to 21. Because if they were only 18 and the showtime was not evening. Oh, wait a second. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. I had to think for a second there. Alright, there's one more exception to the booking rules. Users between 18 and 21 can book evening shows if they're members. When multiple logical operators are used in an if statement, conditions joined with AND are evaluated before conditions joined with OR. What? Oh, okay. Parentheses are used in Python to group conditions and control the order in which they're evaluated. Now add another condition to your existing if statement using the OR operator to check if isMember is truthy. Use parentheses to group the showtime doesn't equal evening and isMember conditions as shown in the example above. Okay. So put these parentheses first. And then showtime does not equal evening, or is member. That's correct, right? Yeah, okay. Now, in Python, an if statement can also be placed inside the body of another if statement. This is called a nested if statement. If a nested if statement allows you to check an additional... Wait, a nested if statement allows you to check an additional condition only after the first has been satisfied. The inner if statement will only run if the outer if condition is true. Okay. Why is it, like, down here, though? Why is it... It's a very strange place. Wouldn't it be here? Yeah. Okay. I can just fix it myself. Okay. Now you will calculate charges based on the type of seat the user has selected. Still inside your last if statement body, create a variable named service charges and set it to 0. Okay. Wait, still inside your last if statement body? Okay, so I guess I keep it indented. Service charges equal 0. And then create a nested if statement. And if seat type equals, like, the string premium. I mean, I guess so. It's probably the only possible thing. Okay. Premium. Yeah, maybe they're just trying to hold my hand a little bit less. And service charges equals 5. Cool. Okay, now add an else statement to your if statement. Oh, this is a nested else statement, I guess. Else. And update service charges equal 1. Nice. Okay. Step 20. Okay. The if else statement is used to check multiple conditions in order. Oh. Boy, am I tired now. I have not been tired all night and all morning until just now. Or until recently. It's like 5:40 now. I've only been at it for like half an hour, I think. Yeah, I've been streaming for exactly half an hour. I mean, 28.5 minutes, but, you know, close enough. Add an elif statement to your if else. Wait, which is if else? Oh, this one. No, wait. No, it would be this part. Okay. Add an elif statement. An elf statement to your if else statement. And check if seat type is equal to gold. Elif seat type equal, oh wait, double equal gold, which I believe it is. Gold inside the elif statement. Update it to 3. So the service charge. Service charges equals 3. Okay, below the if else elif statement is if else statement. Use the print call to display a message that shows the service charges, followed by the updated value. Ugh. Wait, so that would that be under this entire thing, or would it just... This is below the if else statement, so that's this nested thing, which means that would be here. Right. Okay, I hope I'm right. This seems right. Okay, elf, print. Gotta do quotes. Service charges, colon. There we go. Followed by, comma. Service charges. Check the output. Alright, that was wrong. Maybe it's like this. Okay, that seems to have fixed it. Alright then. In this final step, you will calculate the final price of the movie ticket using the values calculated in the previous steps. Final ticket price is calculated by adding the extra charges and service charges to the base price and subtracting the discount. So, okay, calculate the final price of the ticket and store it in a variable named final. Whoa. With these two spaces. Oh boy. Alright, well that still looks right. Alright. Final price equals alright, well what are we adding? So you add the extra charges and service charges and then subtract the discount. So let's see. Oh wait, so base price would be 15. Oh, actually, I think I should just put base price. Yeah, we don't need to brute force it like that. Because then what if we change the base price later? Base price plus extra charge. What is the service charges and what was extra charges? Okay, so. Oh, whoops. Okay, final price equals base price. Alright, I think I get this weird feeling it's gonna break if I don't indent it like that. Okay, base price plus extra charges plus service charges minus discount, right? Where's the discount? Oh, okay, there it is. It's just discount. That's the final price. Okay, and then we'll say print quote final price of ticket colon oopsie daisy, oh boy, then comma final price uh-oh, what did I do now? Okay, 44 has invalid syntax. Oh boy, I did not put an underscore here. I just did a regular score. Okay, final price of ticket is 20. Awesome. Sweet, okay, we're done with all that. Alright. Now we have to start this. Maybe we'll even finish it today. Unless I get real tired, then I'm just gonna pick it up tomorrow. Alright, for this lab, okay, I guess we gotta read everything carefully because this one's not step by step. We have to just make all of these things work. Alright. For this lab, you use conditional statements to determine whether commuting is possible based on the weather, the distance to travel, and the availability of a vehicle. Objective: fulfill the user stories below and get all the tests to pass to complete the lab. You should create the following variables. Alright, distance mi, a number representing the distance to travel in miles. Is raining, a boolean representing if the user is currently experiencing rainy weather. Has bike, a boolean representing if the user has a bicycle. Has car, a boolean representing if the user has a car. Has rideshare app, a boolean representing if the user has an app that allows them to ride. Alright, I guess it'll be simpler for me if I just create all of those and leave them empty for a second. I'll just put in equals. That means the terminal is gonna be very annoying because it's just gonna say it's gonna say everything's not working the whole time. Discount. What did I? This tense. Man. That other workshop thing kind of messed with my head a little bit. Distance mi. That's, what am I doing? Mi. Is, okay, is underscore raining equals space has underscore bike equals has car has ride share app. Alright. You should use conditional statements to determine whether commuting is possible based on the values of these variables. Put it down here. If, elif, and else statements to evaluate the distance categories in ascending order. If distance mi is a falsy value, you should print false. If the distance is less than or equal to 1 mile. Wait, so is the string false? Do I tell it to print the string false if it's false, or should I just print distance mi? Because if I just tell it to print distance, then if it's a truthy value, it will just print out. Yeah, and then if it's 0, it'll print 0 rather than printing false. I don't exactly remember how to make it. I mean, I can just say if is false. I mean, is that a thing? Can I just tell it to print the Boolean value? I'm pretty sure that was a thing. Hold on, let me real quick. I'll new tab this. I'm gonna read the Booleans again. Truthy and falsy values. Yeah, bool. Print bool, false, print bool. So I can just say print bool of whatever it is. Oh wait, no, because then that'll, if it's less than or equal to 1 mile. Should print true only if it's not raining, otherwise it should print false. If it's equal to or greater than 1 mile and less than or equal to 6 miles, you should print true only if they have a bike and it is not raining, otherwise you should print false. If the distance is greater than 6 miles, you should print true if the person has a car or a rideshare app, otherwise you should print false. Wait, so should I just put my own booleans in here? So, I mean, because aside from the distance, these ones are all either true or false. Alright, well, yeah. I'm just gonna give them all values. May as well. Let's make them all true. Yeah, I'm starting to get real sleepy, though. I don't know if I was way more confident earlier. And I'm still pretty confident, but my brain is not doing its best at the moment. Alright, so should have a variable, assign a number, should have a variable that, assign a boolean that, assign a boolean this, assign a boolean this, assign a boolean. You should use at least one if statement, at least one elif branch, at least one boolean. You should use the print function to display the result. Okay. Yeah, okay. So, since it tells me to do this, if, and if, in ascending order. Evaluate the distance in ascending order. Well, maybe I should start by saying if the distance in miles, if distance mi is falsy, I should say false, and then do else, and then I can nest the entire rest of it in the else statement. I may as well. But I still don't remember the exact syntax. If distance oh wait, I got an idea. Okay. This. If bool distance mi. Yeah, so that'll find the distance. And if it is false. Yeah, I mean, maybe I should do the double equals thing, but I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Print, print. I mean, I don't know if it's supposed to print the string false or if it means it should print false like the boolean. I don't really know if that's a difference, right? Should print false. Just in case. I'm gonna say if it is false, I'll just tell it to print the result of the boolean function of distance. I hope that's not a problem. Okay. So let's test this. 0. Okay. But if it's 1, prints nothing. Alright, okay. So far so good. Else. Now, the rest will just nest in this else statement, okay? Perfect. Okay. Else. That's one problem taken care of. Actually, technically, that's this taken care of, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. And this, and this. 11. Okay, we've taken care of 11 of them so far. and 14. So that's 13 of these in total. Okay, so we've taken care of 1 through 11, and number 14, and number 15. So all we have left is to do 12, 13, and all of these. Alright, it'd be easier to pay attention to this stuff. Okay, else. If distance mi is less than or equal to 1, we should print true only if it is not raining. Oh boy. I mean, I know what to do, but this, I guess I'll just have to nest another if statement. This might start getting a little difficult to read. I mean, this isn't ideal, but then again, I shouldn't try to focus on being perfect right away. I think maybe I'll figure out making more readable code after I figure out making code that works. This is fun though. I just realized this is like the first time I'm, like, ever since I started this whole little streaming series, this is the first time I've actually been making code at all. Like on my own, trying to figure things out on my own. Everything else has just been me like typing things. Well, I guess earlier when I was on learnpython.org, I was kind of figuring things out on my own, but that quickly got out of hand. I kind of had to bail on it. But now we're cooking with gas. Sorry, I keep moving away from the mic a bit. Okay. What was I doing again? I got distracted. If not raining. So if not raining. So should I say if not is raining? I don't want to do that because I don't know if it'll even work. Hey, I'm gonna start by making things that I know for sure will work. No matter how unreadable or silly or inoptimal, is that the word? Not optimal. Oh yeah, let me close this. Okay, I close that other tab. All right. So if is raining, oh wait a second. I think there's one very important thing I just realized. I think at the very end, no, so I'm trying to figure out, so is the output of this entire thing going to just be either true or false? Because I don't know if I should like have like a final thing where it prints the final result, or if I should just create tons of conditions that either print true or false, and then only one of them will actually print. Okay, I don't know. One step at a time. Okay, print true only if it's not raining. So if it's equal to or less than 1 mile and isn't raining. So if is raining equals false. Should I just tell it to print the string true? I'm still really iffy on that. This seems to indicate it wants me to make it print the Boolean and not just a string that says true or false. Maybe I should like create a variable that is like I don't know, hold on, can commute. Yeah. All right. Yeah, okay, this might be a little risky. This could all backfire and blow up in my face, but I'm going to create a variable called can commute. And I'm just going to make this entire block of code below it assign it as true or false. I guess I'll start it out as false. Okay, can commute equals false, and then at the very end, I'll just say print can commute, or I'll say print the Boolean of can commute. Okay, this might make everything easier for me, or this will just be a complete nightmare. Okay, so instead, this, so if distance, if it's a falsy value, then we'll say can commute equals false. Okay. So if is raining equals false, then can commute will be true. Oh. Equals true. Else can commute equals false. Now, oh boy, yep, this is gonna get difficult to read. Yeah, because I nested the whole thing in an else statement. I don't know. I'm just gonna leave it there. I don't want to work on fixing it right now. Again, that's making more readable code and more optimal code is gonna come after learning to make code, period. So now we'll say elif oh wait, elif has other conditionals. Okay. Or I can put something, so elif distance I, let's see, greater than 1 mile and equal to or less than 6 miles. Okay, we'll do this. Oh boy, this is not readable, but this is what we're gonna do. Okay, so put this in parentheses and we'll say if 1 is less than the distance, and then we'll say and distance is less than or equal to 6 miles, and do parentheses and say, and has bike equals true and is raining. Oh man. Oh, that does not look good. Okay. And is raining equals false. And this should move me. No. Oh, crud. Okay, yeah, it would be right here. Oh, man. Yeah, this is hard for me to read. Okay, we're learning important lessons about readability in your code, but I don't have time to worry about that. One thing at a time. Okay. So if that then can commute equals. Oh, wait, crud. Okay, hold on. These have to be double equals. That would have not worked out. Okay, this is an assignment though. This is not about equals. This is, we are assigning can commute as true. Oh, crud. Wait, but I can't put an else statement. Okay, I man, okay, hold on. So okay, here's actually see, okay, so if distance is a falsy statement, if it's 0, then can commute should be false, and that should just override everything. So I could just take this and put it at the bottom and make it separate, like remove, like I could just make it so I don't have to put everything else in a. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start by doing that. Okay. I don't care if this screws everything up. Alright, we have to go unindent everything by like 1. Unindent this by 1. Unindent this by 1. And this by 1. This by 1. And this by 1. And then this by 1. And then take this, just cut it, and we'll just kind of like put it here at the very bottom. Paste. Oh, whoa, wait, what did I? What did I do? Okay, if bool distance mi is false, can commute equals false. Oh. Oh, I pasted it twice? Okay, well, we'll just backspace all that. Okay. So, yeah, alright. If the distance is just false, then it'll be false. Okay, so this is now taken care of and completely separate from everything else. Now, if distance is less than or equal to 1 mile, then we should make this true unless wait, so you should commit. Wait, so if it's equal to or less than 1 mile, we should print true. And not. And if yeah, okay, I might just take out this. Man, should I just use like and or statements instead of trying to use if and else statements nested in these? All right. Because it says otherwise it should do false, but yeah, okay, this feels like a bit of a risk, but we'll do it anyway. Okay, so if it's that and is raining is false, then can commute is true. Assign true. Now elif 1 is less than the distance, which is or is equal to or greater than 6. So this is the next thing. You should and has a bike is true and is raining is false. Then can commute is true. Yeah, okay, you know what? Yeah, I think we can just do another elif and then end it with an else statement. Elif distance oops. What am I doing? Distance mi is greater than 6 and has car equals true or as rideshare app is true. Alright, so that first if, where the distance is equal to or less than 1, and it's raining, is false. Then can commute is made to be true. And then the elif, the distance is between 1 and equal to or less than 6, like above 1 or equal to or less than 6, and has a bike is true, and is raining is false. Then can commute is true. And then this other elif says if it's greater than 6 and we either have a car or has a rideshare app, then also can commute will be assigned true. Yeah, I'm going to stop saying equals when I type an equal sign. I'm going to say it will be assigned. And then if all of these are not the case, then can commute will be assigned false, even though it's already false. It's just redundant at that point. And then if to top it all off, if that's false, then can commute will be false. And then we'll just print the Boolean for can commute. Now, we'll test it all just to be sure. So if it's a falsy value, so we should use at least one Boolean operator and or not, which we've done. We should use at least one elif, which we've done, and an if, and use print. So first we'll try if this is a falsy value. It prints false. Now, when the distance is 1 mile or less and it is raining, it should print false, which it does. When the distance is between 1 and 6, we'll say 3, and it is raining, and no bike is available. So, wait, which one am I looking at? Okay, yeah, number 18. When the distance is between 1 mile and 6 miles, and it is raining, and have no bike, it should be false. When the distance is between 1 and 6, and it is not raining, false. But no bike is available, the program should print false. Okay, it still does. Now, that was number 19. Okay, now number 20. When it's between that, and a bike is available, but it's not raining, it should print true. So has bike is true. Okay, and it prints true. Alright. Now, number 21. When the distance is greater than 6 miles, do 7. It's greater than 7, and a rideshare app is available. So I'd say true. Okay, and it is printing true. Number 22. When the distance is greater than 6 miles and a car is available, it should print true. Let's test these both. So has car, false. Still prints true. Now let's say has car is true, and we'll make has rideshare app false. False. Still prints true. Okay, it's 21 and 22, and then 23. When the distance is greater than 6 miles and no car and no rideshare app is available. Oh wait, yeah, these need to both be false. It'll print false. Alright, we've done it. Our code is ready. Run the test. Heck yeah. Moon prism power. And maybe that's some obscure reference. Submit and go to next challenge. We did it. That was the first actual coding. I can see the sun coming up now. It is 6:21 a.m. Oh, okay. I might get off of this soon, especially because the next thing is yet another lab. Yeah, you know what? I probably shouldn't stay up that much later. Maybe I should stop now. But that was great. That was awesome. It was a very unclean code. It was very suboptimal, but it ran, it worked, it passed every single test. I've accomplished everything. I accomplished what I set out to today, and I feel like I made up for yesterday, which was like basically my least productive day so far. This was my most productive so far. This was the first time we like built something on our own. Instead of just typing in what it told me to type in, I had to like logic my way through that. That was cool. I'm feeling good. Maybe, okay, I'll read these. Let's look at this really quick. In this lab, you will write a function that calculates the final price of an item after applying a percentage discount. For example, if the price of an item is 50 and discount of 20 is applied, the discount amount is 10 and the final price is 40. Objective, fulfill the user stories below to complete the lab. Should define a function called apply discount. The apply discount function should take exactly two parameters, price and discount. Oh, I'm making a function. Okay. Discount is not a number. The discount should be a number. Alright. This doesn't look too difficult, and this one only has 11 tests it has to run. And a lot of these are, this one's kind of obvious. Apply discount, that's a freebie. Like the center space on a bingo card. I just get that one for free. Okay, I feel confident about this, but I don't think I'll do it today. I'll get on that tomorrow. And I'll try to, I'm actually pretty close to these like certification projects. They look very daunting. They're very intimidating to me in this red compared to these other little boxes. These ones are longer and they're red. It's very, oh wait, this one's a quiz. And a review. Alright. How much more complicated does this get? Loops and sequences. 31 steps. Okay, well this is mainly just reading a bunch of stuff. Build a pin extractor. This will just be a bunch of typing in what they tell me to type in. Build a number pattern generator. Oh man, this one only has 7. These labs get smaller and smaller. They have less and less tests. Maybe that's not a good indicator of whether it's easier. It's not necessarily easier just because of that. Okay, 71 out of 102. So this is the overall thing that we're looking at. Basically, this next part is 31 steps, then this is 50 steps. There's only 7 steps. 71, object-oriented programming. Oh boy. 119 steps. That's the biggest one. Linear data structures, algorithms, graphs and trees, dynamic programming. Build an nth Fibonacci number calculator. I mean, that actually, I don't remember exactly how to do that, but that doesn't sound extremely difficult to figure out. Fibonacci is just when you like add the sum of the last number to another number, right? Or something like that. Okay. Also, I mean, I don't fully intend to like get certified. Maybe I can, because it says, the website says you can't be certified unless you put in like your name and data and everything, which I didn't do. Maybe I can like still complete these exams and they won't be able to like give me a certificate, but I can still like get done with them just so I can know that I'm basically certified, I think. Or maybe afterwards I can put in my info. After I'm done streaming all this, I can put in my actual info and get certification, which I don't really know how useful that is. I don't really intend to like put it on a resume or a LinkedIn profile and like try to get a job from this. Maybe I should. Would certainly be helpful. Well, I'll figure all that out later. But yeah, 71 of 102. So yeah, just these last little bits to finish this first step. I kind of like, this gives me something to shoot for. Okay, I'm gonna stop procrastinating. We'll do this discount calculator next time, but I will read through all this and then I'll sleep on it, and if I need to, I can just re-review these, but for now, we're just gonna try to read through these, and yeah, that I think then we'll call it. Yeah, it says I've been streaming for an hour and 15 minutes, 16 minutes now, so I feel today's been the most productive though. I'm feeling great now. I'm feeling quite energized. Functions are, and I kind of, my chat looks better than it has before. Things are going well today. I hope nothing goes terribly wrong, like my footage doesn't save or something like that. Functions are reusable pieces of code that run when you call them. Many programming languages come with built-in functions that make it easier to get started. Python is no exception. We've already covered some built-in functions like print in previous lessons. Another helpful built-in function is input, which lets you prompt a user for input. Input, what is your name? User types Kool-Aid. Kool-Aid? Kool-Aid? What? Is that a reference? Sometimes I wonder, I know that sometimes in Python, in like Pythonic culture, they reference Monty Python, because that's what it's named after. It's not named after a snake, it's named after the comedy troupe. I've never watched almost any of their things except Life of Brian, but I never finished Life of Brian. I saw like the first half of it. It was pretty funny. But I gotta maybe since I'm getting into Python, I should watch some Monty Python stuff. The Holy Grail is the one that everyone talks about. Or Search for the Holy Grail or something like that. I see references, I hear about references to Monty Python everywhere, in like video games and in other works of fiction and stuff. It's one of those things that is just worth watching just so you understand pop culture references. Anyway. So yeah, looks for input and then says hello, name. Wait a second, so, oh, okay, name equals input, what is your name? So basically when they put in Kool-Aid, it assigns whatever Kool-Aid, the string Kool-Aid to the variable name. And so if you say print hello name, okay. Alright, it says hello Kool-Aid. On the other hand, int converts a number, boolean, and a numeric string into an integer. Really? So 3.14, yeah, and I believe if you do int on a float, it always rounds it down no matter what. Even if it's like 3.999, it'll just make it 3. And then int 42 takes a string 42 and makes it into an integer data type. Print int true. Okay, so if the boolean is just true, then it'll be 1. Interesting. So I suspect if I took some other integer like 3.14 and then put the function bool, the bool function of 3.14, it would just make true come out. And then if you did int bool 314, it would just turn it into 1 because it would turn the integer true, or it would turn the boolean of 3.14, which is true, and then turn it into an integer, which would just make it 1. I'm hearing the birds wake up now. They're making all sorts of strange noises. Yeah, and the sun's getting brighter in the sky. Okay, you can also write your own custom functions. To do that, use the def keyword, followed by the name you want to give your function, a pair of parentheses, and a colon. Then on a new line. Okay. Right. Then on a new line, you write the code your function should run. The code the function runs is also referred to as the function's body. Here's an example of a custom function called hello that prints the string hello world to the terminal. Def hello. I think I remember learning something about like how like when you define a function, what you put in the parentheses is called the parameter, but then later when you call the function, what you put in the parentheses is the argument. The parameter kind of, oh, I don't know, we'll get there. Okay, to run the function, you need to call it with its name followed by a pair of parentheses. Notice the indentation before print hello world. As you may recall from previous lessons, Python relies on indentation to determine which groups of statements belong together. These groups of statements are called code blocks. Here's another simple function that prints the sum of two numbers to the terminal. Def calculate sum, print a plus b. Sorry, I read that, but my brain like turned off. Okay, so def calculate sum. A and B are the parameters. Yep, okay. And then it prints them added together. Okay. Think of the parameters as a placeholder. You can see in our function, calculate sum has A and B in its parentheses separated by a comma. These are parameters. Think of parameters as placeholder variables that act as slots for the values passed into functions when you call them. To use the parameters, you pass in arguments. Arguments are the values you pass to a function when you call it. And then it returns a printed string of A plus B. Or I guess not necessarily a string. If these are both integers, it'll print an integer. Here's how to call the calculate sum function to sum together the numbers 3 and 1. Calculate sum 3, 1. If you call the function without the correct number of arguments, you'll get a type error. I guess it'll be important for me later to understand different kinds of errors, because type error is one kind of error. I think it'll get into that though in the error handling section. Calculate sum missing 2 required positional arguments, A and B. Because they put it in blank in this. Functions also use a special return keyword to exit the function and return a value. If you don't explicitly use return, Python will return none by default. Here's an example. Def calculate sum AB. My sum equals calculate sum 3, 1, which is 4. Print my sum none. Oh, okay. So, if this function is run on its own, it will print A plus B, but in this case, it doesn't assign anything to this value. It might print something, but since nothing is assigned to this value, nothing is assigned to this value because there's no return here. So in this case, you would want it to say return A and B like down here. Anyway, okay, so it doesn't return anything explicitly. So when we assign its result to my sum, the value is actually none. To fix that, you can use the return keyword to send back the result. Def calculate sum, AB, return A plus B, my sum. Now, this prints none, but this prints 4 because they used return. Now, calculate sum. Returns the sum of A and B, which gets stored in my sum. I kind of just rewording. Even if I fully understand something, it helps me to explain it as if I'm teaching someone else what I just learned. That I don't know why it makes things stick in my brain a bit better. What is the default return value of a function in Python? They say teachers understand the subject they teach better than before they started teaching it. Becoming a teacher helps you fully master something because you truly understand on another level how to explain it to someone else. Anyway, what is the default return value of a function in Python? None. Right. What is the term for a placeholder variable in a function? Parameter. Whereas an argument is what you put in. What keyword is used to define a function? Def. Okay. Check your answer. Sweet. Become a supporter. support free education for people like me who are trying our best. Okay. Yes, help millions of bears and tigers and deer to become superheroes. Yeah. Okay, in Python, scope determines the point at which you can access a variable. It's what controls the lifetime of a variable and how it is resolved in different parts of the code. It follows the LEGB rule, which stands for local scope. Variables defined in functions or classes. Enclosing scope, variables defined in enclosing or nested functions. So local scope is variables defined in functions or classes. Enclosing scope is variables defined in enclosing or nested functions. Global scope is variables defined at the top level of the modular file. Built-in scope reserves names in Python for predefined functions, modules, keywords, and objects. Okay, I sort of understand that. I think I'm not supposed to fully understand that till later, though. Python uses the LEGB rule to resolve the scope of the variables in your program. We'll dive into each of these rules so you better understand the process. Local scope means the variable declared inside a function or class can only be accessed within that function or class. Def myfunc myvar equals 10, print myvar. In this case, the myfunc function has its own scope which cannot be accessed from outside the function. Calling myfunc will output 10, but printing myvar outside the function will lead to a name error. Okay. So myvar is a new variable that shows up only inside of this function. So if this were unindented and under that you tried to type print myvar, it just wouldn't work because this just doesn't exist outside the function. Nothing else, no other function can use the myvar. I wonder if you could define another function and do another enclosed one, which is also called myvar, and they would be completely separate since they're in two different functions. I mean, if I'm understanding this local scope thing, then that's exactly how it works. And then let's see. Def myfunction myvar equals 10, locally scoped to myfunc. Myfunc, it just does 10, print myvar, error name. Okay. Enclosing scope means that a function that's nested inside another function can access the variables of the function it's nested within. Okay, so yeah, this def is indented into this def. Message is hello there, def innerfunc print message. So then you type innerfunc. Wait, so innerfunc. Wait, so when they call... Oh, I see. Innerfunc is... They call this function in this function. So first the message is hello there, and then this function in this function, the inner function, prints the message, and then as part of the function outer function, they call the function inner function. And so then what this basically does, the moment you call outer function, it assigns internally this message hello there and then calls a function that prints that message. Well, it calls it down here after defining it here. So really, if you ignore this part, it basically says message hello there, and then it calls this function which prints the message. Okay. I get it. I understand. In this example, the inner function innerfunc can freely access the message variable defined in the outer function outerfunc. However, note that outer functions cannot access variables defined within any nested functions. Hello, print, res. Oh, okay, so it can't do it the other way. So this defines inner function res equals how are you, print message, and then it calls innerfunc. But the outer func cannot do that because res doesn't exist. It says print res, but that, as far as this outer function is concerned, and the whole rest of the program is concerned, this res function, or this res variable doesn't exist. Res defined until it's in this inner function, and then it can't be used outside of it, like here. So that's just a name error, which is different than a type error. I'm gonna try to whenever I can, I'm gonna passively try to learn the vocabulary, but also not worry about it too much. So name error is that because the name res is not defined. Oh boy. Alright, yeah, it's time to sleep soon. That's because res is locally scoped to inner func. Also notice that inner func tries to print res before inner func is called. Oh. Would that matter? So if this print and this inner func were the other way around, would it work? I think it's saying it wouldn't. One solution is to initialize res as an empty string in the enclosing scope, which is within outer func. Wait, initialize res as an empty string in the enclosing scope. So you just put res here and then make it empty, which is within outer func. Oh wait, no. First you would create the empty string res on one indent in, basically, and then make the inner func make res a non-local variable. Oh, with the non-local keyword. Never mind. This is not going the way I thought it would. Okay, so message res is an empty string. So they do define the string. And I'm noticing they've done this a few times. When they're doing an empty string, they use double quotes. Almost every time in this tutorial that I've seen, most of the time when they define a string, it majority of the time seems to have single quotes. That's what I'm seeing in all these tutorials. I'm assuming that's just the Python way. That's a Pythonic way to do things. But then every single time I see them define an empty string, they always do it with double quotes, which is not strictly necessary, but I'm beginning to think that that's also Pythonic code. Anyway, so they declare it as an empty string, and then over here they use non-local res, which just allows the modification of an enclosing variable. Interesting. Okay, and then they modify it to how are you, and then they print message. Oh, and then when they say inner func, okay, and then outer func. So when they do outer func, as soon as they do that, it outputs hello there, which is the message. It says, oh, okay, so so printing, they're using this function this part does not print anything yet, but then when you do this, it prints the message hello there. And then under that it says print res, which would print the how are you, which was defined in, well, it was defined in here, in this block of code, but then it was, like, activated, basically, by this. Okay, cool. Global scope refers to variables that are declared outside any functions or classes, which can be accessed from anywhere in the program. Here, myvar can be accessed from everywhere. Even inside a function it's not defined in. myvar equals 100. Oh, global, okay. So this is like if you're just completely outside of anything. It's just, yeah. So showvar would print 100 because it says to print myvar. Or if you just say print myvar, it also does 100. Alright, if you want to make a locally scoped variable defined inside a function globally accessible, you can use the global keyword. Oh boy, I dread making a code complicated enough that any of this global, like, where you're using keywords to change the scope of variables like that. That's really, that'll hurt my head. But maybe one day it'll be as natural as breathing. Okay, so myvar1 is 7. Showvar's global myvar2. Myvar2 equals 10. Print myvar1, print myvar2. And when they do showvars, okay, it just prints 7 and 10. So the moment they made, even though myvar2 didn't even exist yet, They just said global myvar2, and then they assign the variable. That's interesting. So you can say global this variable when the variable has nothing assigned to it. I wonder if printing it before it was assigned 10, if you just do global myvar2 and then say print myvar2, would it print out none? Maybe? Or like, I don't know, a 0 or false. Probably none. I'm assuming. Or just like throw an error maybe. Okay, so myvar2 is now a global variable. It can be accessed anywhere, so they print 10. So even though it's inside this function, you can still just do it anywhere. You can also use the global keyword to modify a global variable. Well, I'm like curious, if you didn't put the global thing here, like if this line wasn't here, like they just assigned it inside this function, and then outside of the function, you did global myvar2, would that work? Or would it only work if you make it global from inside of like the more inner scope of this function? Well, I wonder. I can't really test that here. You can also use the global keyword to modify a global variable. Okay, so myvar10 is a global variable. Oh, so normally if you didn't do this global thing right here, it wouldn't let you modify it inside of this variable. Or if you did modify it inside this variable, it wouldn't, the modification wouldn't be global maybe? That makes sense. What if you're not doing functions though? What if it's like, I think this does mainly apply to functions though, because this whole section is on functions and scope. Finally, built-in scope refers to all of Python's built-in functions, models, and keywords, and they're available anywhere. Yes, yeah. That part just needs so little explanation. They just did this little thing at the end, just tacked it on. Okay, what is the rule Python follows to determine the scope of variable LEGB, local enclosing, global built-in? What does the non-local keyword do? Allows modifying a variable from an enclosing function. Which keyword can you use to do? Okay. Kind of obvious. Alright, fantastic. Alright, so next is this discount calculator. Define a function named apply discount. The apply discount function should take exactly two parameters, price and discount. Alright, hold on. I'm not going to do this whole thing right now, but just to start off, apply discount, and then those parameters are price, discount. Okay. Oh, wait, and then this. Interesting. So it's throwing an error with this because it has all of that, and it has a colon. And all it's saying now is it's expecting an indented block, but the moment I type literally anything in, it's like, okay, cool, you did it all. I've satisfied every necessary requirement for this function. Okay. If price is not a number, integer or float, the function to return the string, the price should be a number. If discount is not a number, alright. This seems pretty doable. Doable later. Yeah, it's 6:50. 7 a.m. is a good time to go to sleep, I guess. As good a time as any. Oh, I just realized in my chat thingy says that another like bot or something tried to post in my stream, and I was supposed to either approve or deny it, but I did neither, so it expired. Interesting. That's depressing. So far, that's like all of the chats I've gotten. A long time ago, I used to stream Lethal Company, and I would always have like at least a couple viewers, and I'd have chatters in every stream. I wasn't like super popular by any means, and it was usually not. There was pretty much never the same people showing up in my streams, but still. I guess, though, now I'm in like the science and technology section. I'm in like a whole nother thing. I might try playing, there's a few coding games I own. You know, I want to keep it at it with this like free code camp and stuff, but I mean, earlier I was playing Ilara, but I didn't change my category. I was still in the science and technology thing. But maybe if I played some coding games, I might get more people in chat. I'm doing fine though, just making videos, but you know, I might be more motivated if I had people checking out my stream. But, you know, I'm plenty motivated as it is, so I think I'm good for now. But it'll be fun. It'll be fun to play some coding games. We'll give that a shot later. For now, it's a good time to hop off, and I'll export this to YouTube, and we'll see what we can get done tomorrow. Hopefully at least this discount calculator thing. It doesn't seem too difficult. What about this RPG character thing? I already know I can make the Caesar cipher. All these workshop things are just repeat it. You just type in everything it tells you to type in. It's good, but I know for a fact it won't be difficult. Okay, function and create character. That's interesting that it starts you off with these dot strings. Maybe it's like just in case you can't figure out how to create these characters on your own, which, I mean, I don't know how. I feel like I could figure it out though. Maybe, oops, nope. That was alright. What is the button? I can't remember exactly what it was, but I remember I did used to know the button you press to do weird characters. Oh well, we'll figure that out later. Anyhow, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, thanks for hanging out with me. Even if it's only in spirit, it still means the world to me. It's what keeps me going. So I guess I'll be back tomorrow. Bye bye.